I'm ready to take on whatever Coach Smart needs me to take on, whether it's special teams, whatever my team needs me to do, whatever it takes to win. I think it's really because of my hands talking. This is Kenny McIntosh talking. I think God blessed. I thank God for blessing my hands with the ability to catch the ball, and Coach trusted me to catch the ball. So that's Kenny McIntosh talking about his versatility coming into this 2022 season at Georgia. Obviously, Kenny is one of the most energetic guys on this team at Georgia, and now he's going to get a chance to shine in 2022. I don't know if he's going to be the lead back for Georgia. It doesn't seem like Georgia really ever has one guy. But in Kenny's case, the versatility is a real strength for Kenny McIntosh. And I'm going to talk about that a little bit and more. Hang with me as we talk about it. Make sure you're picking up DAWGSTRUCTION. The link to get the book is down below. 80 pages, hardcover. This is going to be a book that you're going to keep for the rest of your life, probably on your coffee table. If you already got one, make sure you're getting another for your dad or the graduate that's coming up. Make sure you're getting these now so I can get them out to you. Um, Kenny's Kenny. If you look back at Kenny's performance over time, and you start back in 19, this was when he really was not used very much. A few catches here and there, a catch, and then a few runs here and there. It was really a season ago in the Cincinnati game, I would say, but not exclusively that game. More late in the season, when JT Daniels came onto the scene, we saw the emergence of Kenny McIntosh. And just look at the last three games of the season: 25 carries, way more than 100 yards, and another six receptions, including a 17-yarder at the end of the game against Cincinnati, which was a really critical moment in that game. Now, remember, looking back on it, I think we have better perspective now that Cincinnati is one of the best teams in the country over these last 2 years. And Georgia did not play well that day. They did not play well. I said it that day. I've said it since. I mean, for me, in many ways, that was a real gutsy performance by the Dogs. But it wasn't real good looking by any stretch. With that said, Kenny's performance that day was as important as anybody on the field not named JT Daniels. And you can make the argument that Kenny's few plays at the end of that game were more important than what JT did. But let me not get too carried away with all that stuff. I mean, JT had a great game, but 60 yards from Kenny all purpose, five receptions, five runs. At the end of that game, he was the guy that JT was going to, and once the ball got in Kenny's hands, it really saved Georgia a couple of times. That's when you really could see sort of the explosive nature from Kenny McIntosh. He had some other decent games. I mean, against South Carolina with 9 carries for 79 yards, you're almost going 9 yards a pop. 11 attempts for 58 yards against Mizzou. That's a pretty, and with a touchdown, and that was a big day for Kenny as well. So now we're seeing what he can have the ability to do, and you're moving forward the way these running backs in Georgia do under Kirby. It's a slow start, but then they zoom on up at the end. Um, this past season, his best game came against Arkansas with 57 yards on 10 touches against Georgia Tech. People might not remember this. He had a 59-yard touchdown against Georgia Tech. That was a big deal. He had a touchdown against Tennessee. He had a touchdown against Vanderbilt. Then he goes back home to play in South Florida against Michigan. And then eventually in the national championship game, he plays a lot on special teams. Kenny McIntosh is the overall back. You're not going to call him a power back, but again, there are people at Georgia who are really big Kenny McIntosh fans, and you can see why. I mean, when he has at least 10 carries, Well, that's only happened. Let's just say whenever he has 9 carries or more, he's going to get you your 5 yards of carry. He just does. And every single time he's had it, that amount of times, he's been very good. So that's just like what Zamir gave Georgia over time. Can Kenny do that in 2022? Not by himself. I mean, he's not going to be able to go out there 20. He's not built to be a 20 down back, a 20 carry back. He's just not built to do that. I've been around long enough. He could do it here and there, but there's just not a lot of guys that are built to take 100, 120. It'd actually be a lot more than that. If you're talking about SEC play, 20 a game in SEC play, you're talking about 160 carries. I mean, that just doesn't happen at Georgia. And he's not built to do that. There's very few guys that are. Um, and you'd be wearing him down for no reason. Let him do his thing. 16 receptions for 242 yards in 2021. That's 11 yards of reception, 2 touchdowns. Those came against Charleston Southern and UAB. So some lower end guys. But I mean, he's scoring a touchdown about every other game. Um, that's not bad either. So when you're the number 3 back, so I am curious to see what comes of Kenny McIntosh. If you remember, you probably don't. He had a significant uh, special team. He's had a significant special teams career too. The flashback to the Cincinnati game, I mean, that's when he really, if you want to call it exploded, that's when he exploded on the scenes. I mean, that's when it's like, man, he saved them, you know? He's had 34, he's had 14 kick returns for 375 yards. He's in 2020 averaged 36 a return. I mean, he was deadly at that point. But you just look at his all-purpose. He already has 1,000 yards all-purpose, but it's about 1,400, 50, almost 1,500, 1,484 yards. He's averaging not quite 50 yards of all-purpose a game, 43.6, so 44 yards a game. He's not going to be doing punt return, but I'll be curious to see, um, how he is used. Todd Monken's offense is really catered to guys like this guy. It makes him and James Cook, it makes them look special because of the ability to throw and these guys coming out of the backfield. They're weapons. Um, and we're just going to see how deadly Kenny can be in 2022. I think he can be pretty good. But again, the other day he told us, I'm ready to take on whatever Coach Smart tells me. Special teams, whatever my team needs to do, whatever it takes to win. I think it's really because of my hands. He's talking about his skill set and um, his ability to catch the ball is impressive for sure. He is a deadly guy out of the backfield, and that means a linebacker almost always is going to be lining up against him. He should win that battle, and more often than not that he does. But Kenny Kenny's Swiss Army knife action is going to give Georgia the ability to do stuff that they did with James Cook this past year. Um, and let's just see how Kenny gets into this season. I'm curious to see. All right. Thanks for watching. Make sure you're picking up DAWGSTRUCTION. The link is down below. We'll see you on the website. Thanks for watching.